Well, hello everyone, my name is Walter. I hope you're having a great Tuesday. We are here at the church and we are continuing our Holy Week series. So we're going to be looking at Jesus' Tuesday 2,000 years ago. So as Pastor Brian told us yesterday, Jesus has come into Jerusalem and he enters into the temple and has a confrontation with the leaders there. In the midst of that, he cleanses the temple, drives out these people, and curses the fig tree, and begins to really show us that this temple is a holy place. It is designed for man to come into a relationship with God and not to be interfered with by these other things these religious leaders are doing. Well, this Tuesday, 2,000 years ago, Jesus continues that conflict with the Jewish leaders. He enters into the temple again and does his last formal time of public teaching. As he comes into the temple, he's confronted by the leaders, and they begin to ask him, on whose authority do you teach and do these things? And Jesus, with a bit of a chuckle on his face, says, let me ask you this. On whose authority did John baptize? And the leaders look around at each other and begin to think, if we say from heaven, then he'll say, I told you so. If we say that it comes from somewhere else, the crowd that's gathered around that believes that he is the Messiah might tear us apart. And so here in the midst of this moment, they say, we don't know. And Jesus says, I will not give you this answer. What Jesus is doing here is he continues to teach and begins to lecture through some of the things that he closes with. He leaves us with the parable of the talents, the parable of the wedding feast, the parable of the last days, that he's teaching so much here. He's establishing the authority that God has given him. He's establishing authority that he has come with the full authority of the Father. That as we study the scriptures, we see that all authority was given to him, that all things were created from him and through him. We see even in Matthew 28 that all authority in heaven and earth has been given to him. That even in his closing words, both here before his death, burial, and resurrection, and then before his ascension, he is reminding us that the authority has been given to him and him alone. And so as these leaders are coming into conflict with him, they're beginning to recognize that he is preaching and teaching from an authority that is greater than theirs. And they have a choice. They can assent to the fact that he is the Son of God, that he is the Messiah, the one they've been waiting for. Or they can reject him. And as Jesus continues to teach on this day in the temple, in his last public teaching appearance, we see that they come to the conclusion at the end of these passages, and that appears in all three Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. We see that they choose to reject him. The passages conclude with them beginning their plot to kill Jesus. They come together and they say, he must die. That this man who has come forth preaching this blasphemy, rejecting our traditions, rejecting us as leadership, he is not worthy to live. And so we see them seal the deal and begin to say that he must die. And in this moment of saying he must die, they believe that they are conquering him. They believe that they are rejecting everything he has stood for. But what they are doing is simply saying his plan will go forth as intended. That his purpose will be fulfilled. That as Jesus is out teaching and these men are plotting his death, they are thinking they are doing ill, but what they are doing is bringing good. They are allowing Jesus to continue his mission, to go forth to the cross, to hang upon it for the appointed time and pay for the debt of our sins. And so on this Tuesday, 2,000 years ago, we see Jesus come out and do his final public teaching. We see Jesus begin to seal the final moments of his week with us. And a thought that I want you to wrestle with today, as you're thinking about how do I bring honor and glory to Jesus through this day. Meditate upon his teachings. Look at the things that he said to us through the Gospels. You'll have the verses on the screen here. They'll be on the social media posts. Meditate upon these verses. Look at what Jesus said. And begin to wrestle with, what does this mean to you? How does this apply to you in your life today? I love you guys. I hope you have a great week. Thank you for joining us today.